want to do my Santa Sprint 5K and 1 mile race recap. I went out to Ohio, out at Barnesville, Ohio, yesterday. I did the Santa Sprint 5K, 1 mile. I finished 4th overall in the mile at 5:27.83. That was at 2 o'clock, and the 5K started at 2:30, and I got 5th in the 5K at 19:12.81 with combined time of 24:40.64, which put me at 4th overall combined times. My buddy Carl puts on the race. He does a fantastic job. As you see here, I got other awards and trophies and such from the race. I'll just start off with this one. This is the 4th lowest combined time, male. So it's a really cool award. It's really thick. It's like an inch thick piece of wood too. Really nice plaque. That was the combined times. This is my 4th overall for the 1 mile award. See, it's engraved there. Pretty nice. This is my 5th overall award for the 5K. It's got, it's a cool present, some Christmas tree. What is that? Oh, the wreath is right there. Pretty nice, detailed award. And then if you did the challenge, which is the 5K and the mile, everybody got one of these awards. Then your packet itself, you get this Christmas ornament. You get his magnet of his race stickers and a thing for Donnelly's cookies. You get a big sticker. There's your race bib. It says challenge because I was doing both races. Again, it's an awesome race out of Barnesville. It's a little bit of a drive for me. It's like 2.5 hours. So always got to make sure the roads are good this time of year, since it is like the first week in December. I actually got the shirt on, sporting the shirt. Really nice shirt, nice fabric. On the way out, it's kind of boring because I'm just going down like 70 basically after I go to 30 through Latrobe, then Youngwood, then hit 70. Damn bathrooms were closed again this year, so I don't know what's going on. Or once I get to right before like West Virginia, when you cross over before Cabela's, that rest stop was down, so I had to go to the Sheets at Cabela's, and then the rest stop as you come into Ohio was closed down for repairs. So I don't know what's up. It just sucks that those 2 bathrooms were down. It's just one of those side notes. Travel and down, but otherwise roads were bare the whole time. Even though it was maybe 30-35 degrees temperature wise the whole time. Had the heat going pretty good. Actually got to take the car since roads were bare. Got there, peed right away again. Got my packet, started playing around, started talking to people before I actually got ready. Again, it was one of those 10 minutes till before I actually got my shoes on and started changing, figure out what I was going to wear for the day. With it being 35 degrees, I know it was going to be cold, but I didn't want to layer up too much and get overheated. So I stuck with my Dorfa Pro 4s, which are basically out of juice now. You can feel that they just don't have no bounce in them. I wore my my David calf sleeves, my Under Armour Iso Chill compression shorts with shorts over top, just a long sleeve shirt on top. I think it was my Oil Creek shirt. Had my MP3 player. I did wear a visor beanie, a neck gaiter, and I took my Blegmans, but I don't think I kept my hands out of the Blegmans, but if my hands got cold, I had that option to cover them up. But whatever. I knew going into this race, even like the weeks before, that I had no shot at winning. So my goals were a little bit different than a normal race. Since he does top 5, the 5K, the the 1 mile and combined times, my goal was to try to get in that top 5 for both races in combined times. So I would put the combined times top 5 as my first priority. And then if the 5K was my second, the 1 mile was my third. Those were my top 3 goals. And just have fun and overall, just at least win one of the cool awards. Because he posted some pictures online, and I really wanted one, so really wanted this one. So I think it's cool. That was actually the age group awards as well for the 5K. I think these were age groups. I can't remember what was given out for the 1 mile. I think it was just ceramic ornaments, not the plaques, but I could be. Anyway, whatever. My goal was to bring in some hardware home because he hand makes these himself, so he goes above and beyond. A lot of age groups, and he has walk divisions, the same way. And there's actually like a building that you go inside where the award ceremony is, and if it's cold out, you get a place to stay. Anyway, I took one of my friends out, and they won an award too. I think they got masters, stuff like that. So the 1 mile starting, again, I knew I wasn't going to win with the competition that's out there. It's pretty good competition. There's a couple fast kids that always come for the mile alone. Another guy who's in like low 30s who comes as well, who won last year. So I knew I had no shot. That's why my goals were top 5 for both races if possible. So we line up for the mile. And I knew it was going to be stiff, but I knew I had to go out hard, even though it wasn't really warmed up. It's a quick out and back. I would say it's got a little bit of an incline, decline on the way out, incline on the way back, but it's pretty straightforward. You're not making a bunch of turns. It's pretty much one turn and a straight shot until you hit the half mile and you turn around. We went out pretty fast. I think I didn't even hit 4.5 minutes to like 30 seconds into the race. So we were flying out the gate, and I really blew up very early in the race. Was getting overheated. My muscles were just on fire because I don't race a mile other than maybe like once a year, twice a year at the most. So I really don't train for a mile at all. So my body's just not used to, trying to put forth that like red line effort right out the gate in the whole, 5-6 minutes that it takes, because I'm, a 5 minute plus 1 miler. Since I don't train for it. Again, I was 5:27.83. But I did manage to hang on to that 4th place, just ahead of 5th place. I did have a couple seconds on 5th place at the turnaround, but he did catch up to me at the end. I think it was maybe a second and a half in the end. So if he would have kicked a little bit harder, he would have got me, but I was dying. And there was a little bit of gap between 5th and 6th, so I was trying to save myself after that half mile. While still laying it down hard enough to keep that top 5 position. Because again, you want to stay in the top 5 for both races to guarantee yourself a combined time, even though I think maybe 2 kids in the mile didn't do the 5K. So that helps me bump up a little bit. And same with the 5K. There was 1 or 2 that didn't do the mile. So that guarantees me, as long as I don't finish like 8th or 10th, I could, be a top 5 in the combined. But it was rough. I was definitely feeling it. My throat was on fire in between races. I went to my car and was sitting, and I was just coughing. You could just feel it like burning through my, throat, back of my throat. I knew the whole way home I was going to be coughing. Just because you're going so hard, so fast, and not being really warmed up in that cold air, just getting in there, just like burns your throat, and just like, well, probably just dries it out more or less. So that's what happened there. And I was definitely struggling in between, the 20 minutes I had between races, just trying to recover, get my heart rate down, recover. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do anything in the 5K under 20 minutes because my legs were just on fire and shot. I'm feeling a little bit more today, a little sore. Again, because I just don't race miles, and I don't practice that kind of speed work. And being out of shape in general, which is pretty rough for me. For the 5K, I got to the start line. I knew I had at least, I was projecting myself, I had at least finished 7th or 8th to be a top 5 combined time. So that's what I was shooting for. Hopefully I was in the top 5. I didn't try to go out as hard early on, like just dead sprint it. I let the couple, I think there's 3 people, top 2 in the mile took off with this other younger kid, and I was like behind them a couple seconds, like a half mile or so in. They were just turning and burning, and I was just like, you got to do what you can do, maintain, and just try to hang on for as long as you can with what and whoever may be coming behind you. So that's what I tried to do. Try to run fast, but not do nothing stupid where I blow up or get sick and a bunch of people would pass me. The straight stretch that we ran, because you repeat, well, the 1 mile course, but you make a quick right at the bottom of the hill and do like 2/10 just to get some added mileage in, and then you hit that 1 mile like flat part again, and I could just see top 2 hanging together with third just a second or 2 behind them, and then me a couple seconds behind him. It was all right on that decline down, and then we made our first right. There's 4 rights on the course. It's really not hard to follow. I actually drove the course when I got there just to reassure myself what I was going to visually see. And luckily he had all the cones and stuff out, and arrows, and they were setting up as I got there. So I knew I was going on the right course. I just wanted to re-visualize the course, and I'm glad I did, because I thought the first right hand turn around the block, like a couple house block type deal, was a little bit longer than it was. But it has a little bit of an incline there, and you pop back out. You do a quick, I mean, you could see the turn, but it is like a nice, basically like a 180 turn. I did smell a lot of like grease or food at that turnaround from like a restaurant or something. I forget what it is right there. But I was definitely dying at like mile into the race. I looked back, I saw 5th was maybe 5-6 seconds behind me. I was like, all right, I didn't see 7th or 6th yet, or 7th. So I knew I had a little bit of gap between there, and I felt a little bit comfortable, but I was still trying to run hard as much as I could. But I was feeling it. And then we made that, I guess it's left-hand turns, not right-hand turns during the race. I can't remember. Anyway, that second left-hand turn we made, there's a nice little incline there after a flat. So your legs are burning a little bit as you're going up, probably 4/10 to a turnaround, and then you come back, but you get that downhill on the way back. But by the time I hit that turnaround, my legs were on fire. I still had 5-10 seconds on 5th place at that point, but I had 15-ish, I would say, probably on 6th/7th. I think they were together. So it's like, all right, you got some time to play with, just hold back, do what you can do. I tried to use the downhill, but I just didn't have any leg strength to like give me that free speed on the downhill. So that was kind of weird, because downhills you get that free speed. It usually helps pretty good, but whatever. When we hit the bottom of the hill, to make the left to come back to the finish / like the 1 mile route, I did look back and I saw 5th place really flying down the hill. He closed the gap pretty good. He was just like right on my tail. And then as we're hitting that, like it's basically a straight stretch. We'll say like 2.1 to 2.9. But you just have to stay on the right-hand side of the road because, I mean, even though it's not a busy street, it's not a closed course, and you might have like a car or two. I think we might have had 2 cars pass us, but they were very respectful, and because he had cones down the middle of the lane, so people were being cautious and not driving fast and being very respectful. So that was pretty nice. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, what do I want to do here? I was like, you're in 4th right now, and you're burning up. But if you want to hang on, you probably should play the smart if you want a top 5, and just pull back just a little bit so you don't blow up and actually have to stop. So that's what I ended up doing, pulling back a little bit. And 5th caught back up to me. Actually, looked. He saw me looking back as he was passing me because I was making sure 6th and 7th weren't anywhere near us. They were maybe a good 10 seconds, 15 behind. So I just let him pass me out because to me there was really no difference between 4th and 5th place. As long as I get that top 5 and get one of the cool awards, I really didn't care if he finished in front of me. But then I got to thinking, because he was the guy who finished right behind me in the mile. So I was like, so you should stay close enough, because if not, he's going to jump you in the combined times. But again, as long as I finished 5th, I was guaranteed a top 5 combined time. So it was one of those things that, did it really matter to me? The answer was no, because I had no shot of catching a top 3 or even winning the race. So I was just sort of playing the placement game, since there really wasn't no difference if I wasn't going to win between 2 and 5, as long as I get the top 5 award in combined times. So I was just playing it smart as I was blowing up, doing what I could do. I think he even said later on to somebody that he saw me pull back a little bit during the 5K. It was just, I just didn't have no legs, and I went out way too fast in the mile, and it really did cost me. Whereas last year in the mile, I just let those fast young kids just do their thing, and I geared more towards the 5K, because actually last year I thought it was only top 3. I didn't realize it was top 5. So that's another reason why I let those kids last year go and do their thing instead of racing faster. But now that I knew it was top 5 instead of just top 3, I had more of a game plan going in. But yeah, I finished 5th overall on the 5K in 19:12.81, which was, I would say, almost 45 seconds slower than last year. I think it was like an 18:35 last year. Definitely slower. The conditions last year were a little bit warmer, but I was just so much out of shape this year compared to last year. If I tried to do like an 18:30, I would have just died out there. I would have really blown up. I mean, the only difference was I would have been 4th in the 5K instead of 5th, and then I would have been 3rd lowest combined time instead of 4th. It's not really much of a difference, but I guess that's just, you pick and choose sometimes, and I picked and choose the gear for the awards more than placement, because I just wanted them. Anyway, Carl this year, which was kind of nice, some of the cones he put on like Santa hats on some of them, just made it more of a Christmassy feel, just to mix it up a little bit during the race. And he had cones on all the couple side streets that we had with like the Santa hats and stuff like that. It just, like I said, it just gave it a more Christmassy feel. I can't remember if he did it last year or not, but I'd have to ask. But it was just nice to see that along the trail. He had a couple of inflatables inside the building that I took pictures with, which will be obviously the thumbnail of the race. But it was just a good atmosphere. A lot of people dressed up in different costumes, like Santa. There's some guys dressed up in like Santa. There's a couple women that dressed up as Santa. There's a woman that dressed up as a reindeer. So people had some like Grinch attire. So like people really do dress up for this race as well, which is kind of fun and makes it interesting. Um, well, the only thing is that like the top 5 or 6 of us really didn't dress up. We were more running in run gear. Some of the women did in the top 5, had on some like sweatshirts and stuff. Um, I guess us guys, we were just more worried about racing than looking festive. But overall, it was a nice atmosphere, a nice race. I mean, decent weather for this time of year. You really can't complain with it being dry and 35. I mean, obviously, you'd like it to be like 45, 50, but I'll take 35 and dry roads. And nobody getting lost. That's always a plus. Trying to think what else. I just know today I'm a little bit sore. My legs feel a little bit dejuiced. And like my ab area is a little bit sore. I think just from twisting really too much because I'm a twister when I'm running. So there is that. And I really did crash pretty good last night. Slept for maybe like 10, 11 hours before I woke up. I was just beat from the effort I put in, being out of shape, and just the drive in general, like 5 hours of driving just really takes it out of me. So, but yeah, I had a fun time. Still a little bit tired, as you can see and hear my voice. My voice is still a little bit hoarse from the cold. But I want to say, mission accomplished. I enjoyed the race, because Carl does. If you look at any of his, I think got 4 or 5 races, I can't remember. He always makes his awards unique and handcrafted. He goes way above and beyond any race director does that I've seen. So if you ever want some cool awards, which I showed you here, check out his races. He has, let me look. It's actually on the business card. So that Santa Sprint, first Saturday in December. His Pumpkin Festival is the last Saturday in September. He's got a Rotary Lake 5K trail race last Saturday in March. Third Saturday in May, he's got the Rails to Trail 5K. He calls it the Grand Prix Series from Barnesville. So check him out if you can. Again, all those races, the 4 races, 5 races, they're all going to be unique awards. You're not going to get lost at his races. He's a really nice dude. And the thing about his races is he has a walk division for each of his races. And he does like age groups and stuff for his walk division as well as the run. Because Barnesville, I'll tell you what, it has one of the best race walkers, like grouping that I've seen at races. Like I go to some other races, they might have like 10, 15 like race walkers, but he's got like 30, 40 race walkers, so it's really a competitive group out there. So it's always cool to see how he brings in so many like actual race walkers on top of normal people who just like walk. And there was a guy that was actually, I don't know if I should say this, but there was a guy who was blind. He had a guide runner with him, which was cool to see. I think he finished in like 22 minutes in the 5K, which was just phenomenal. Other than that, it was just, again, if it wasn't for the drive, I'd be going to all his races just for the awards. And I know they're going to be, course is going to be marked well, and everything's going to go smoothly. So this is my Santa Sprint 5K and 1 mile race recap. I didn't perform as well. There's really not much to talk about course-wise because there's only a couple turns and you really can't get lost. I mean, for a mile, you're going out in the back real quick for a half mile, so you're really not, you're more paying attention to what's happening and what you're doing than actually your surroundings. So there is that. But yeah, I just wanted to get home and do it at my house so I could actually show you the awards this year. Whereas last year I was in the car trying to do it, which wasn't really safe, to give them due justice. But other than that, I had a fun time. Check them out next year. You won't regret it. And it's always a big crowd. I think he had 170 pre-registered. There was always a couple day of, so he's pushing that 200 participation mark. So yeah, just check it out. Hope to see you there next year.